Hey everyone, welcome along. This is your guy Dan with another deep dive into the Jay Slater case. Lots of information we have for you today. Don't forget, please stay until the very end because we got a very important question to ask you and we need your help. And we need it now because it's going to have a big bearing on the impact of this case and how it's going to go in the future. Before all that, a big thank you for everyone who has been in touch. All those who got in touch by email, thank you so much. We will be in touch with each and every one of you very shortly. And don't forget, if you want to remain confidential, use that email address. Also, please comment because the more people that comment, the more people that can get in touch and find the truth. And that's what we all want. So please do comment, do subscribe, and do tell a friend. So where are we now with the Jay Slater case? Well, it seems the Spanish police are up to their old tricks again. More lies and more lies. They make Dastardly and Muttley and Inspector Clouseau look competent. But the real story is that Jay Slater is still a victim that needs dealing with. And we don't mean brushing under the carpet. So many lies have been kicked to the curb, nobody believes them. And yet more information is leaking out where his body was found. Well, his alleged body was found. Because nobody can tie Jay Slater to the remains that have been found in that so-called ravine up in the mountain. And that opens up a big Pandora's box. Because the coroner, the Spanish police, they have lots of questions to answer. And these questions have been coming a lot more odder as days pass by. And now we can reveal that not only have the remains of Jay Slater that were found into the ravine become questionable, it has come to a lot of people's notice, and we've been getting this information for the past week, is that there's further remains belonging to the said Jay Slater. Well, we think it's belonged to Jay Slater, but at this stage we can't ascertain that it is or it isn't. No matter what is after happening, the Spanish police have made an almighty cock-up. To be fair to the police on the ground, it's not their problem. They've been fed the storyline from the top down, and it just goes to show what power, corruption, lies and money can do to distract, to deflate people. And of course, there's been plenty going around that want this case killed. The ones at the top, the real big fish, the ones making money hand over fist who think the Jay Slaters of this world are just insignificant and all this will just pass away and they'll continue to make money. I'm afraid, a bit like that Starship song, we've got a message for them. Nothing is going to stop us now. There's a small band of people who give a toss about the Jay Slaters of this world. And folks, it's not the media who are after their own pound of flesh, and when they get it, they're gone and can't be seen. So much for justice, so much for investigation, and so much for great journalism. My God, they know what they can do when the chips really are down. They're out for themselves, a bit like everybody else, and as soon as they get it, they're off to cover the next story with more juicy gossip and more stories that can sell newspapers. That's the way life is nowadays. Nobody wants to pursue the truth. But the YouTubers will, and we continue to do so. It may take a day, it may take a week, it may take a year, but one thing is for sure, we're going to find out the truth regarding Jay Slater. He is not going to be another statistic kicked to the curb just because he's not powerful and hasn't got money behind him like rich people have. We will find out who the real people are who did this awful crime. Yes, the small fry are around. What did they do when the going gets tough? They ran. As expected, of course, like all of these people do. They think only of one thing and one thing only, apart from money, themselves. All of them should be ashamed of themselves. But really, they've got no conscience. For the people who can sleep tonight and who are pursuing justice for Jay Slater, we say to them, if you want to get in touch with us, by all means do so. You can comment if you wish. If you want to remain confidential, that's good too. Just drop us an email. We will give it out to you there. Use it at your discretion. We will use every bit of information, regardless of how insignificant you may think it is. We will use it all. We will pursue it all. We will use it all to get there and make sure that we get the truth for Jay Slater. The only one that has any bit of credibility coming out of all this, and to be fair, it is Jay Slater's father. He's remained quiet all along, but he's been quietly working away behind the scenes trying to get answers in a very difficult time, and he's not ploughing a furrow alone because lots of people are with him. He doesn't rate the Spanish police, he doesn't rate the answers he's got, and he, for one, is pursuing the truth. Unfortunately, others are not and are just sitting in the sidelines, remaining silent, and the questions are beginning to fall, and everybody wants to know why. Why would you remain silent if someone belonging to you has been killed in a manner like this? Why would you not be shouting off the rooftops that you want justice, knocking on doors, getting onto politicians, talking to newspapers, talking to social media, but instead people are just quite happy to let it all wash over them like a crest of a wave? What is going on, you have to ask. It really begs the question, is there more behind all this? Are people being silent? One wonders, are we ever going to get the truth? But we are. We will continue to pursue it. We have several lines of inquiry. And of course, the Spanish police have never covered themselves in glory. And like we said, Inspector Clouseau would do a better job at it, because everything they do, they really make a hash of it. What comes up next? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. But one thing is for sure, the so-called friends of Jay Slater's are running, and running fast. Some, of course, are fearing the heat is going to come onto them, and some of them are going to crack sooner rather than later. Some of them, of course, right now, and we've had loads of information regarding this, one individual in particular wants to go legit with a business that they have formed. We'll see how long that's going to last before they crack, but it won't be very long. That is for sure. Everything hangs in the balance at this stage. Who is at fault? What should happen next? And of course, the real question is, were those remains found in the ravine belonging to Jay Slater? That is the question we've got to ask today, and that's the question I've got to ask you. Are you satisfied that the information being given to you, and this is regarding Jay Slater being found in that ravine, is actually him? Because there's very little information tying him to it, because he hadn't got any ID of any sort. He didn't have a passport, driving license, any major ID. Some things were found that were close by in this man bag of his, but we all know that is not conclusive proof. And if the coroner is relying on that as ID, I'm afraid we really have to question the authority of these people. Also, if the British police had been involved from day one, and to be fair to them, they offered their services but were turned down by the Spanish police, we would have had a totally different outcome. At least we would have known the truth, and not this wild goose chase that have happened that's been investigated by Dastardly and Muttley with help from Inspector Clouseau. So let's cut to the chase. It's high time people were charged. It's high time people were rounded up, and for them to tell the truth this time. Not a pack of lies that's been fed out there for the past several weeks and into months. The Jay Slater family deserve justice, and they deserve justice right now. And a bit like the band Starship, we're going to be there, and nothing will stop us now or ever. That's our look at the Jay Slater case for now. We're going to be back very, very soon with an update, and we got more juicy information that will oil the wheels of justice. And justice is what we're going to get. Don't forget, everyone, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Use that email if you want to send us anything confidentially. We will look at everything. We will pursue all avenues. But we're here to get justice for Jay Slater and his grieving family. At the end of the day, that's the least they deserve. I'm Dan. We'll be back with more soon.